Yo guys, what is going on? It's Lukey here and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to be running through the top 10 loadouts in Season 4 of Warzone. It's been out for a decent amount of time, so that's allowed a lot of people to discover a lot of different builds. So here are the top 10 right now. If you guys enjoy, subscribe for more, but without further ado, let's get into it. So the first one is going to be the KRIG 6, absolute laser beam. Honestly, if you guys follow my TikTok, you've probably already seen me talk about the KRIG. It is honestly so good. Here are all the attachments you guys are going to want to run. So we have the agency, we have the task force barrel, which is called a different name on the KRIG, but it's the last one on the list. We got the axle 3x arms, and I'd like to quickly mention, if you guys want to, you can pretty much use any other sight you like to. The axle for me is my favorite, but a lot of people like to use the SUSAT, the 2x. It's honestly up to you. Even the microflex LED is pretty good as well. You guys can pick, you guys can decide. But without further ado, let's get on to the next class, which is the new C58. They have messed up diamond camo on this thing. Look how ugly that looks. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the class. So we have the agency suppressor, of course. I see a lot of people using the suppressor on their assault rifles for long range because it has faster ADS, but in my opinion, the agency is better. We have the task force barrel, we have the axle, the field agent, and the 45 round drum. If you guys want to, you can use a bigger mag, but for me personally, I don't think you really need a bigger mag. 45 bullets is plenty, and if you do stick on a bigger mag, it will reduce your ADS and your mobility. So sticking on that 45 round is all you pretty much need, and it doesn't really affect your mobility that much. Next up, we have the Swiss K3-1, definitely one of the best snipers in Season 4. It did get a buff quite recently, and it's really good. It's one of the fastest quickscoping weapons you can use. So for the Swiss, we have the sound suppressor, which is what you want to use on pretty much all Cold War snipers. It did get a buff recently, and it increases the ADS and the sprint to fire time, and also the bullet velocity, and obviously it suppresses your weapon so you can't be seen on a minimap whenever you shoot. Combat recon, and then a 5mm laser for more increased ADS, which is honestly, the ADS on this class is just through the roof. It's got one of the fastest ADSs out of literally any sniper. Next up, we're going to be talking about the KRIG 6. You've probably seen a lot of videos about the KRIG 6 recently because a lot of people have started using this thing. It is really nice to use. So we have the grau suppressor, the RPK barrel, which is basically the task force with a different name. The task force, the barrels on the long range, they did get changed recently, as you guys probably know. The task force now offers just more range and more accuracy. Before, it offered strafe speed, so people were using it on close range builds, but now you want to use the task force on long range builds instead. Axle 3x, Spetness grip, and then the extended magazine, and then we have the Kar98K, the OG. Everyone loves the Kar98K. Who doesn't love the car? It's been an OG for a long time. This was one of the first snipers I fell in love with in Warzone, but it's kind of a little bit outdated at the moment. A lot of people prefer to use the Swiss and maybe the Tundra instead, but still, the Kar98K definitely deserves a spot. Next up, we have the Mach 10, which is one of the fastest mobility SMGs in the game right now, and honestly, you guys are going to be zooming around the map with this. I absolutely love it, especially on Rebirth. This thing is so much fun to use. So we have the sound suppressor, the task force barrel because it increases the strafe speed on SMGs, the 53 round drum, the serpent grip, and the no stock. You pretty much want to use the sound suppressor on most SMGs. However, there is a build in this video with an SMG where you don't want to use the sound suppressor. You want to use the agency instead. But for the BULLFROG, which is the next class, we once again have the sound suppressor on. The BULLFROG is honestly an underrated thing. I really like the BULLFROG. I don't really see that many people using it. I see people using other SMGs a lot more often, but I think it definitely deserves a spot because it's great, and it has 65 bullets in the magazine, and it doesn't even affect your mobility, which is great. You've got so much bullets in this thing, and it honestly just fries people. Now, this is the SMG I was talking about, which doesn't require you to use the sound suppressor, and it's much better with the agency suppressor instead. And the reason for that is because this build is a hipfire MP5 class, and the agency suppressor makes you have better accuracy, it increases the vertical recoil control, and therefore you're going to be a lot more accurate considering it is a hipfire build. Bruiser grip, 5mm laser for the increased hipfire of course, and then we're going to want to use the reinforced heavy barrel and then the 50-round drum. 50-round drum on this, you get a lot of bullets and the reload time is nice and quick as well, especially considering it is a drum. Next up we have the close range XM4 build. This build is insanely fun and I absolutely love it right now, especially on Rebirth. This class setup has no barrel. We have the agency suppressor, Tiger Team spotlight, Raider pad, 45 round, and the serpent grip. If you want a little bit more mobility and a little bit less accuracy, you can use the sound suppressor instead, or on the XM4, I'm pretty sure it's just called the suppressor, but I like to use the agency just for the increased accuracy. Lastly, we have the Jak 12, and honestly, I think this could be meta pretty soon. This thing's insane. You get a massive drum, 32 round drum, and it is just nuts. These are the attachments. Go use it and have fun. Subscribe for more. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.